Ladies and gentlemen, American Jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Eric Deters Show. Lots going on in the world. We begin with Renee Good. Renee Good had a Venmo account. Despite her being married, she was living off her parents, I think her mom. She also donated to Black Lives Matter. Apparently self-avowed supporter of terrorism. There's something else, too, I want to say about this. This is just amazing to me. This is the spouse. I'm now left to raise our son to continue teaching him, as Renee believed, that there are people building a better world for him, that the people who did this had fear and anger in their hearts, and we need to show them a better way. No, the people with fear and anger are these people. Trump chewed out Susan Collins apparently on a phone call. That's funny. Not happy about her vote on the Venezuela issue. Matt Gaetz, boom, Health Ethics Committee comes out and says he's a bad boy. This is why he left Congress. This is why, he's just floundering out there. Then, of course, Bongino took him down. ICE, 280 arrests in Ohio. Wow. Criminal history of assault, drug trafficking, firearm offenses. This is a week-long initiative, December 16th to 21st. Trump wants to cap credit cards at 10% for a year. Hey, I got a question. How's that go over for rank-and-file voters and Americans? Who's against this Trump act? The lefties, are they going to be upset about this one? Mondami, the judges are saying, no, you can't block bankruptcy sales. You know Mondami's a full-blown communist. By the way, when we established our country, John Marshall and the other founding fathers realized to have the type of economy and country, the contract right was going to have to be sacred. You had to honor contracts. If you didn't honor contracts, nothing. And you know what? As a capitalist, I believe in that. The only thing I always say is it not too much to ask for fraud not to be involved? Christopher Rai, R-A-I-A, is the replacement of Dan Bongino at number 2 in the FBI. Jimmy Kimmel, he's just getting roasted and roasted and roasted, continues to just flounder out there. But he won't let up. Won't let up. Trump oil executives, they met on Friday, big-time meeting to gauge their investment in Venezuela. Exxon was a little bit apprehensive, but other countries were ready to go. Something I didn't realize about this is Venezuela took our company's infrastructure, oil, a couple times in its history. In other words, when Trump says it's our oil, well, it kind of is. They took over, they nationalized our oil companies a couple times after all the work they did down there. Federal unemployment down, over 200,000 less federal employees. That's draining the swamp. Meanwhile, Trump's economy added 50,000 more jobs. Trade deficit, the lowest it's been in 17 years. What's wrong with that? ICE shooting probe, Trump says it's our probe. It isn't the state probe. He's right. Blue City riots all over. And by the way, they included, let me see, Jesse Ventura's proud of them. Jesse's insane. We've had them in Lexington. We've had them in Frankfurt. Where else did we have them around here? We had them in Louisville. You notice we had them in Cincinnati. You know what the common denominator all these places are? You guessed it, blue cities. A massive drop in fentanyl deaths. Who on the left opposes this? Y'all against this? Fentanyl deaths going down? Does that piss you off? Massey's buddy, the Democrat that he's always, and from California, that he's always doing things with, apparently took a whole lot of China money. Just like Thomas Massey took a lot of Iranian money. More on that later. Jonathan Ross, who is the person who shot and killed Miss Good, is apparently a pretty good guy. He has been hurt before in the line of duty. He's married to a Filipino. So he's not anti-immigrant, is he? No. Health insurance. The Republicans are going to turn their attention to this. You watch. This will be another part of the economy Trump solves. World news, Venezuela. The people are happy. Trump's taken over the oil. But what's really the reason why I have this up here on the screen is one of the National Guard protectors down there spoke about how the military did this with sonic booms, with taking out the people, the drones attacks. This guy was like blown away about what happened to them. They said, we had no chance. It's pretty interesting. Cuba. Trump's waiting for Cuba to fail. They need Venezuela oil. Marco Rubio maybe could be the next president of Cuba. But Cuba, can you imagine? By the way, Cuba's another country that confiscated American businesses back in the 1950s. All right. Iran. Well, thousands have been killed apparently. There are riots everywhere. It's on. Death to the Khomeini. And Trump says he stands by ready to help. Internet was cut off. Trump's asked Starlink must turn on Starlink. We'll see what happens there. Good things. Pop culture, the Golden Globes were last night. The Pit won. Forget what else. The Pit, and I forget the other name of the other show. Nikki Glaser hosts, where she insults everybody. Rescue Me. If you haven't watched Rescue Me, I'm rewatching this. This came out about 15 years ago, 20 years ago. It's hysterical. I love it. L.A. Bradley Cooper said he had to get the hell out of L.A. Isn't that funny? Backstreet Boys prices are going down. They're just not as hot. It's the way it works. Zara Larsson, this creepy Scandinavian singer, she stands for all the bad stuff. Bob Weir, 78, the founding member of the Grateful Dead, passed away. May he rest in peace. Lots of sports. Sports Without Boundaries. 49ers 23, Eagles 19. Bills 27, Jags 24. Rams 34, Panthers 31. Bears 31, Packers 27. Chargers beat the Patriots 16-3. Steelers and Texans are tonight. And then in college football playoffs, Indiana spanked Oregon. They're for real. 56-22. Miami barely beat Ole Miss 31-27. I think Indiana's going to be the national champion on January 19th. Bregman signed a $150 million deal with the Cubs. Mutombo passed away. Remember him, the big, tall center. Josh Allen's jersey is the #1 selling jersey in the NFL. And Jordan Shipley, formerly of University of Texas, played for the Bengals, is recovering from wounds from a fire on his ranch. And your Shakespeare insult of the day is, do not be a monstrous, naughty-pated swain. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day.